Listened. We all listened.
Yeah, thanks. There he is, Big Tech.
Hey
So
guys.
apparently you have some thoughts for us on all this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why you guys are. What happened to the no deplatforming shit? Or is that just not a position you guys actually have?
What?
What?
What happened to the no deplatforming?
Yeah, how are you guys running around trying to spam reports on people's channels?
I'll speak for myself. I saw you play my clip earlier. What happened was that was like maybe like 2 a.m. Somebody in my chat said, "Hey, Big Tech, yesterday I reported Mr. Girl's video entitled 'I'm a pedophile.' And today I looked and it's gone." And I said, "No way." So where you go into my clip, that's what I was talking about in the beginning. I said, "No way, it's gone." So I'm looking and I'm searching around on his channel. I said, "No, that's true. It is gone. It's on somebody else's channel. Somebody else has a mirror of it." I said, "That's great. Good. I would like to see that type of stuff not on YouTube. So fantastic. If that worked, keep doing it. Go. Yeah, get that type of filth off there. Let them know. And maybe YouTube's just not looking, but this guy's getting away with putting like really disturbing, degrading, degenerate, demoralizing stuff on YouTube, and I don't like that. So now it's gone, and I feel good about it. I'm not saying that I had. I don't think that I caused it to be gone. Somebody let me know that it was gone, but then I also gave it a thumbs up.
Well, I mean, how can
So,
are you like? I'm just trying to get a feel, I guess, for the Groiper Nation. Then are you guys like pro deplatforming then for stuff that you deem like degenerate or not good, or?
I'm pro deplatforming. I'm pro deporting. I'm pro get the hell out of here. Don't be like that.
Gotcha. How do you feel about
Like,
this?
stop it.
Mio
Stop
and
acting
Brittany.
that way and go away. Be gone. I'm for like Mr. Girl. What he should do is just not be around us at all.
Well, nobody's around you.
Far away.
You're going to his platform and trying to report him on there, right?
His platform?
But yeah, you're going. It's not like he's coming to Cozy and like trying to show you videos. You're going over to another.
Yeah, wait.
platform and
Is
spam
YouTube
reporting.
his platform?
The platform that he was on? Yeah.
Yeah, it's not his. That's ours.
Okay, well, when you said in terms of, you made it sound as though he was forcing you to consume his content. He's like, he needs to get away from us.
No. Yeah, no. Us. It's our platform, and he shouldn't be bringing that around us. Ours, us. I look at things in that type of lens where this is our land, this is our technology, this is our country, this is our platform, and that stuff doesn't belong in our home, in our land, in our environment, within view of our kids. It doesn't belong here. It's wrong.
Gotcha. So are you supportive of like when progressives want to deplatform stuff because they think it's degenerate or not good, or?
I'm just not. The problem with it is I'm just not supportive of their perspective.
Gotcha. Okay. How do you feel about this, Mio and Brittany?
I'll let Mio go first if he wants to. I'm not for deplatforming personally.
Uh-huh.
I have mixed feelings on the topic, honestly. I've gone back and forth since I heard about it. Because on the one hand, I can understand, like, I don't like the idea of mass reporting. I don't like the idea, I've obviously seen enough of, like, censorship and people getting deplatformed and all of this. Right-wingers have been complaining about it since forever. And it's like, I'd rather have the marketplace of ideas where my ideas can win. I'd rather have that. Unfortunately, I also see, we don't live in that world. And we live in the world where everybody is mass reporting each other. Like, it's all just, everybody's doing that. They do it to us. They do it to whoever. Everybody does it to everybody. And it's just like the company, YouTube, decides what does and doesn't go on the platform ultimately. And so people that are already gone from all the platforms, they've already been deplatformed from everything. It's like at that point, they don't have any tools. They're not able to speak. If Mr. Girl is talking, about Nick or whatever, if he doesn't, they don't have any tools to speak except the report button because they can't speak themselves. It's already happened to them.
Sure. To be clear on this, just so we're 100% clear, Nick has never been, Mr. Girl has never called for Nick to be deplatformed, right?
No, that's true. That's true. I just meant like even that he can't. He has.
No.
I
What?
just meant that he can't even respond.
Wait, hold on. No, he didn't want Destiny to platform him, basically.
No, he just wants to change the way the conversations are had. But he was okay. I think he said himself he would do an interview with Nick if Nick wanted. So it's not like he's saying Nick should be deplatformed. And I think he even said that he wished that Nick had his YouTube channel back.
Yeah, he said that because he wants Nazis out in public, is what he said.
Regardless, but I mean, if regardless, that should be the values I think that we would all share. I would imagine.
But he knows that Nick's not really ever going to be on YouTube, and I think he probably feels like that because he's been deplatformed from Twitch, so he gets that. And I think that's also been a case for a lot of it. You used to be for deplatforming, like you said, and I think maybe when you start to lose your Twitter, and I used to be for deplatforming as well, and still it happened to me, and I realized this sucks. And I think maybe if more lefties started to wake up to how bad this is for everybody, then maybe they would fight with right-wingers against some of the censorship that's going on.
Gotcha. So you guys are all on the pro deplatforming train then?
No, I'm
No. Like I said,
Well, that's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing justifications for it, essentially, is what I'm hearing. That, like, maybe if we
No,
started...
well, no,
recording-
I
Let's
said
be
I
a little
can
bit
see-
more specific because you're saying pro deplatforming. Now we haven't gone out and campaigned for the deplatforming of anybody.
Well, hold on,
What
you-
saw was a clip of.
No,
Wait,
you specifically
If I
have,
could, if I
right?
could just finish. No,
Okay.
I didn't say, hey, let's go deplatform.
You literally
What I
said,
is report.
said we should do this
Report.
every week. You said we
I
should
said
do...
report.
That's deplatforming.
So what is reporting? Report. Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Did I campaign? Hey, get him off of here, or did I say let's let YouTube know what this guy is doing? And if they decide, hey, this isn't appropriate, then all we've done is let them know that if there's a violation with TOS, or if there's something that's not congruent with the branding that they want, what we've done is we've let them know what's going on. They might not be paying attention. We haven't picketed in the street. We haven't sent attorneys. We haven't pushed this idea, get him off of here. I did speak again at 2 a.m. like off cuff, and I'm not trying to pull back from it at all. I'm just saying, like, be specific if you want. I'm pro reporting. I don't know if we're splitting hairs here. Is it pro deplatforming? I'm not saying he shouldn't have a platform anywhere. I'm just saying, like, there's maybe another place where Mr. Girl can do his thing.
I just want, so let's be clear here. I want this on the
maybe
record. So
maybe
you don't
behind
believe
a
that
wall.
spam reporting is deplatforming? I just want to hear that. I want you to say that. You said, I don't think that spam reporting is deplatforming. That's not deplatforming. I want to hear that. Because you know this
I don't
position
know.
is ridiculous. You don't know? You know that's a ridiculous thing to say. In that case, then nobody's ever deplatformed any of you guys. They just spam reported then, right? The only people you can ever blame for deplatforming is YouTube or Twitter itself, because anybody else just spam reported.
That's kind of how I.
Okay,
feel.
okay. You know what? I guess I'll just go with you on that. I guess if we're calling spam reporting deplatforming, I mean the distinction I would make is that it's the company itself that does the deplatforming. So the bigger
Sure,
argument.
so then you
is
could never
whether or
blame
not-
like a spam report
So-
thing or whatever. None of those
so
are deplatforming
what I'm-
attempts,
what
it's
I'm-
just reporting.
No. I'm not saying I'm not talking about the blame. What I'm saying, there's two conversations. Was one conversation is, should these tech companies have a policy of deplatforming people for certain things? Should they be able to silence certain voices? And if they can do that, then we can use those functions in a certain way. I'm against them doing that in general, but they are doing it to us, so then let them do it to you too. So I'm not pro deplatforming as a corporate policy, but
Right,
if
so
it is
no
a
one here
policy
is-
that's in place,
yeah,
then
no
I
one-
don't want
yeah.
it to be only used against us.
Sure. So no one here is talking about like what's the difference between a corporate deplatforming or mass reporting, blah, blah, blah. Everybody here understands that mass reporting is a form of deplatforming. Everybody here understands
Okay,
that.
so I'm for that form.
Okay,
But
gotcha.
the other
That's
form
fine.
of the idea of the big tech policies.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if I named myself big tech. This is something that the idea is it's like we're being meta ironic here, but the problem is with big tech. Big tech is taking our voices away, but why are they only taking our voices away? So I'm against it, but if it's going to be happening, it shouldn't only be happening to us. So to say that
sure.
we're pro,
I don't necessarily
pro-deplatforming
disagree with
is
that.
kind of
but
too broad.
You
That's the
are
only problem.
no. I think it's pretty accurate. When you're mass reporting people, it's a way of like trying to get people deplatformed. I think it's pretty easy. You can be selectively in favor of it or whatever. I mean, if you want to, that's obviously it's your right to have whatever belief you want. But I just want to be clear what we're talking about, because when people are spam reporting your
I'm trying to be
guys'
clear, too.
channels,
I'm trying to be more specific.
they're trying to
As a
deplatform
corporate
you guys
policy,
as well,
I'm against it. As a do you not understand the distinction that I'm making in the two?
yeah, but the
categories of
distinction
deplatform?
is a distinction with no difference in this case, because nobody here is talking about like YouTube specific policies on whatever. That's not what
I
we're talking
agree.
about.
Okay, so I wanted to get specific about the type that's being utilized in this case, and in that type, I'm for it. But the other type, I'm against it. So to say that I'm for it in general or in a broad way would be inaccurate.
Okay, so then let me hear you say this clearly then. If Mr. Girl has songs on his channel called I am a pedophile, you're in favor of those staying on if YouTube was to approve the policy. You'd be okay with them making that call as a company.
I would think that that's the wrong call, but also the thing
Hold on,
is
I'm not
that if
asking
they
you.
then...
I'm just asking if you'd be okay with it.
Would I be okay with
When you
it?
say it's the wrong
What does
call,
that
so
mean?
then they should have censorship then. You are pro-censorship in every sense of the word then. If you would say you don't agree with that call that they should remove that, then you are pro-deplatforming both in the spam report sense and in the company doing it sense. So that even furthers my point that there's literally no distinction here. I don't know why you would even bother making it. Which is fine. You have a right to be pro.
I'm black and slow. Not bring it down a notch for me. What's exactly the question you're asking me here?
Well, initially I was trying to figure out if you were pro-deplatforming. And then you said, well, no, I'm not pro-deplatforming. And I said, well, how not? And you defined deplatforming as companies having censorship policies. And you said, we're just using the report feature. And insofar as they delist something because it can be reported, that's not deplatforming. And I said, okay, well, in that case, would you be in favor of Mr. Girl's content remaining up, songs like I Am a Pedophile, if YouTube had a policy that made that okay, if YouTube was completely against all forms of deplatforming? And you said, no, I think I'd still want that deplatform. So you're pro-deplatforming no matter which way you cut it.
Well, I'm not for freedom of speech. So deplatforming, like, I want to answer the question. I'm not trying to dodge it, but I want to be specific. The way that I think it should work. So I'm for it, but in the right way. So the way that it should work is this is a public utility. It shouldn't be in the hands of these corporate, profit-driven, private companies to decide who and who does not have a voice. I'm saying there should be laws in place regarding certain types of decency, certain types of slander and libel, all sorts of different laws. And as long as things are obeying the laws, they should be allowed. And then other things that are disallowed by the law, they should not be platformed on the platform.
That's fine.
So that's the way that deplatforming should work. So in that way, I'm for it.
Okay, gotcha. I understand.
That's not
but
the
when
way
you
that
just
we currently have.
sure,
What we have
and I
is
understand
currently
you can be
different mechanisms.
against the way that it currently is. But when you say I am not for freedom of speech, then you are necessarily pro-deplatforming in almost every sense of the word, which is fine. You have the right to be that. I just want to be clear that that's what we're talking about.
I think the pro-deplatforming is a type of label and a type of categorization that I think is problematic. That's
Well,
the
it's
problem
not.
we're
We are
running
literally
into.
against freedom of speech. You are in every sense of the word pro-deplatforming.
Well,
There can't be
I'm
possibly
for-
a more accurate descriptor. Like that is exactly
Well,
what
I'm
you
not.
are.
Well, let's be more specific. I'm not a freedom of speech absolutist, meaning I'm for freedom to tell the truth, but I'm not for freedom to lie.
We're not
I'm
talking
for
about
freedom
lying
to
here.
say
We're
good
talking
things.
about.
I'm not for
we're not-
freedom to be.
Yeah, we're not talking about
degrading,
we're
and
not
degenerate,
talking
and
about,
demoralizing.
Okay, so you're not in favor of degeneracy. So it has nothing to do with lying. It has to do with like deplatforming points of view that you find like morally like abhorrent or inconsistent, which makes you the same as a progressive, right? Progressives say they want to get rid of like radical speech or racist speech or maybe Christian speech if you want to go that far, but they're essentially have the same position as you. You just, as you said, you disagree on perspectives.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So when somebody takes a criminal off the street, they've deplatformed them, and we could say, but this is just what we call it online. But I'm not for YouTube and Google deciding who goes to jail.
Sure. So when we talk
I
about
think that our
deplatforming,
legal
we're not
system
usually
should decide
talking
that.
about, we're talking about taking away your right to speech. We're not talking about giving you the ability to not like break a law, right? Deplatforming doesn't refer
Right.
to like going to jail, because breaking
Yeah.
laws is
You just go to info jail.
Sure, but these are fundamentally different things, right? One is talking about your First
To a
Amendment
degree.
right. Well, no, substantively, right? Having the freedom to say whatever you want in a free society is different than having the freedom to steal something, kill somebody, et cetera, et cetera.
To a degree, but a lot of times people are using their speech to steal and kill.
You can't. So you believe? Well, okay. I mean, if you're opposed to the concept of
Yeah,
freedom
people
of speech,
use
then-
lies to steal all the time. Theft occurs online through speech all the time.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. It's just, I guess, as a more liberal, like free speech person, I would take issue with the perspective, obviously. But
Right, yeah. No, I'm for some more proper controls being in place, and we currently don't have those. And that's the situation that we're kind of struggling under right here, is that we only have these corporate entities deciding who and who doesn't have a voice, and based on their corporate interests, versus a sensible system of like legal action that we can take.
well, we
Like,
have
I
a
can't
sense.
sue
Well, hold
Mr.
on.
Girl
we
for
have,
making that song currently.
Well, you
That's
could. You
what should
can
actually
sue.
happen.
You can sue anybody for anything in civil court if you want to in the United States. There's no guarantee.
Well,
you'll win.
effectively, I mean, it's
If
not
you want to make it a criminal offense to criminalize certain forms of art or expression, you can do that. But again, we just have a fundamental disagreement on.
Well,
values
what I
there.
would like to do is to be able to have a system where it's set up to where it's It's more feasible that I could actually show damages to the commons. That's what I would care about. If I could show that he's actually damaging the things that we all hold dear and valuable, then I want to sue him for reparations on that.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
And I think that's what he's doing. Mr. Girl, my problem with him is that he speaks in exactly the type of way that someone would speak if their goal was to demoralize and ruin everything that we have.
Yeah, I understand,
That's how he
but
speaks.
I guess my perspective on the United States is that, but I'm guessing you're probably not like a big like democracy guy either. My perspective is that like in a democratic society, the right for everybody to share their point of view, regardless of how abhorrent some people think it is like a necessary component of having a democratic society. But I'm guessing you.
Yeah, I don't believe in that.
Yeah, sure, I understand. Yeah, but okay, but like I said, I'm a liberal democracy guy, so.
Yeah. See, that's what I mean. It's just difference in perspective.
Sure.
Oh, and Beardson, we brought Beardson in, and also I think Big Tech is speaking for himself, not just for the whole.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'm not speaking for
yeah.
anybody else. I didn't get permission from anybody. I'm not representing anybody. I have my own little channel. I said what I said at 2 a.m. and that's what it is.
Yeah, hey, I just wanted to hop in here because, I wanted to reiterate that Big Tech does not represent my views as a cozy streamer at all.
Well, what do you think?
I thought it was really stupid what you did, to be honest with you.
Maybe it was. It's not the first time you said that to me about something I've done too.
Yeah, I know. It seems to be a reoccurring issue.
So
Yeah,
what do
I
you
don't
think?
know.
What do you think I should have said to the guy who said that in chat? I should have said,
Well,
"Great,
no,
do it
I
on
mean,
your
I
own
don't
time,
think,
bring
I
that
don't think,
here."
yeah, I mean, I don't think you should have done a stream where you're like, I'm gonna report people live on stream. That's really dumb.
I didn't report people live on stream.
Okay, man, come on. Really?
What are you saying? That's what I did. It's categorically not what I did. I didn't report anybody. Did you just miss the summary that I gave of what happened? The context? Maybe it doesn't matter to you.
To be clear, he didn't actually report anyone on that stream, but he said we should go on weekly reporting sprees. That's what he said.
Yeah, I mean, it's what's the big difference exactly here? I mean, you're splitting hairs here at this point. Like, it's dumb. Like,
Okay, why is it done? What's the problem? Break it down for me.
Well, for one, I don't know. I don't want to be a fucking internet nanny and sit there and you know what I mean. Like, I don't think that's what any of us are about, dude. Like, I don't know what you think like we're doing here, but like, I mean, you know, you're doing your own thing. It's whatever. But like, I'm my job's not to be an internet nanny and try to get stuff taken down. Quite frankly, because I've had that done enough to me to where I don't want it to happen really to anybody else. Quite frankly, even people that I hate. I don't know. I don't really care, you know, about what people I don't like are saying on the internet, quite frankly. And I don't want this reputation of cozy streamers or people on our side are going to be fucking internet nannies now. That's not cool. And it's lame, quite frankly. Oh man, I mean, like I said, I just wanted to come here and say that like I'm cozy streamers are not like pro deplatforming just because Big Tech decided to do that ignorantly for content. Like, because like there's this whole thing going on right now. I saw like a clip from Destiny and Sneeko's stream the other day where Sneeko thinks that like cozy people are trying to get him deplatformed so he'll come to cozy. Like, that's not true. Like, it's just not happening. You know, like it's just.
I think he did see some chat logs that made it sound like that might have been a possibility. I'd have to go back and dig through what he said, but I think I remember seeing those as well. But I don't have them on hand. It might have been people just telling jokes, but obviously for Sneeko, who's just had an account ban too, that's really scary when people are even joking about stuff like that, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, I totally agree. But like, I mean, I can assure you, I've never seen anything like that, and I'm pretty well in tune with a lot of what's going on, especially like kind of behind the scenes, you know. And if there's like some random gripers like talking about it, like I disavow, like they need to stop immediately. And if he could point them out to me, I'll tell them to stop. You know what I mean? But yeah, no one's pro deplatform, especially somebody like Sneeko. Like, we like Sneeko. I think Sneeko's hilarious. Like, I don't want him to get deplatformed.
Well, the joke was, I think that they wanted to deplatform so he'd switch to cozy faster. That was the.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love for him to come to cozy. I think it'd be great. But like, you know, if he's on YouTube, that's fine too. Like, I just want to watch the guy. You know what I mean?
I think
like,
the longer that he's on YouTube, like especially now that he's starting to agree more with Nick on certain things, that's better for us, and everybody knows that. So,
yeah,
like, why would we want him banned from YouTube? Our whole point is spreading our message.
Yeah, it's kind of like one of the biggest strengths of Sneeko, really, is the fact that he's on YouTube on a platform that like a lot of us aren't allowed on. You know what I mean? So, like, why would we want to sabotage that? You know what I mean?
Sure. I don't know why Nick is messaging me to come on this show, but
Bring him on.
Oh,
Hey,
Hey,
what's up, friend?
hey, what's going on, guys?
What's up, Nick?
Hey, what's up, bestie?
Got some problems going on here. Got some drama brewing, Nick.
I don't think so. What's the drama?
People are going after my comrades. Not good.
Yeah, like I said, I don't support Mr. Girl being taken down. I like Mr. Girl going on there because he's like, honestly, if Mr. Girl's attacking me, it just makes those attacks look stupid, in my opinion, because it's like, you kind of couldn't pick like a worse representative. Like he was on that stream with ABBA and was it Jadeon, and even they were like, okay, fuck this guy, he's unlikable, blah blah blah. So but I mean, it's besides the point. So here's I think the missing context about the deplatforming conversation. I generally do not support deplatforming, but you got to keep in mind that this is what's happened to me in recent times. When people get deplatformed, as you know, it's like very bad, obviously, for their reach. Like nobody would, all these retard conservatives are like, oh, I got banned on whatever. That just, through the Streisand effect, that made me go farther. It's like, that's a myth. That's not true. Obviously, having access to the platforms with the billion users on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Reddit, obviously that's better.
Yeah, of course.
So a person like me, I'm banned from literally everything. And here's where, I appreciate that you're saying, oh, well, I think you should have a platform. But frankly, that and $1 will buy me a cup of coffee at McDonald's. You saying I support your right to have a YouTube, it doesn't change the dynamic that you are allowed on YouTube. And I am not. You are allowed on Reddit with one of the biggest political communities on the platform, and I am banned. And the problem is that, okay, well, I created my own platform. I do my show. That's great. But in my case in particular, you'll have people that do these huge streams or huge tweets or whatever on the platforms, and they're able to say, whatever they want about me. And there's no semblance of a free marketplace where I could go in and rebut or answer that. I've got to go on freaking Telegram, or if you look, it's like the biggest user on Telegram in America has 1 million followers. That's how, Telegram's like a huge platform globally, but domestically, I think the biggest American political user has 1 million, maybe a couple million followers. And and you could look at the traffic on the site. It surged after the 6th when everybody joined a year ago after Trump got banned. And it's just been declining for everybody ever since. And point being is, that's, I think, the missing context where, again, I don't support deplatforming. I wish everybody were able to be platformed, but that's also not the case. So I'm not necessarily, the things that I report on Twitter, people go on Twitter and post my home address or say I'm going to kill you or whatever. I report that stuff. But I don't go on my show and tell people, report people. I don't do this and that. But
I'm a little bit of that with the kind of the Ralph stuff.
What?
Weren't you guys talking about going around and spam reporting Ralph stuff? Did this not happen? Am I misremembering this?
No. The debate with Ralph is that
with you and Medicare or whatever?
Medicare. The debate with Medicare about Ralph, there were a few things in there, but the main thing was about Ralph DMCA'd, who's that guy? Flamenco. Ralph DMCA'd his stream, and I came on there and I said, look, I don't support it. I said, you can't exactly, people are flying out to Portugal to, stream snipe and beat Ralph up, and then he's going to DMCA them, and they're going to be like, that broke the rules. And I didn't say, oh, I support deplatforming. I said, well, you can't exactly cry foul. Clearly you're engaged in something that's not just a war of words. If you're out there doing all that beef and all that drama that goes on with them, I said, well, how can you really go and then draw the line and cry foul? So I've never DMCA'd somebody on YouTube. that's not something that I do. And again, and I don't really go around reporting people unless it's illegal or they're trying to like get me murdered or whatever. But the missing and I know I'm rambling here, but the missing context is, you know, it's great that you support people to be platformed, but that's just not the reality. And it's just bullshit that people can go on Twitter and make up lies about me or slander me, or like in Mr. Girl's case, oh, you're a Nazi that supports genocide. And he gets to go on YouTube, a platform with 2 billion active users, and he gets to go on Twitter and say, oh, he's a Nazi. Gideon is going to say, so you should maybe go and kill him, right? And it's like, and I don't have any platform to respond to that other than Telegram and the website that I built.
Well, hold on.
So,
that comment,
whatever,
firstly, just as a
reality.
quick thing, that comment about go and kill him, you do understand the purpose of that comment, right?
Yeah. I don't think it really changes the
Well,
dynamic.
it does. That comment was making fun of Mr. Girl, right?
I don't think it's funny because Mr. Girl is out there saying
No. Hold on. The reason why he made that comment was because Mr. Girl was saying that you're a literal Nazi. So Gideon was saying that, well, if he's a Nazi, doesn't that mean you're supposed to strap up? He was making fun of Mr. Girl's hyperbolic statement about you.
Yeah, I understand that.
Okay, I'm just saying, just to make sure. Yeah, okay. So I understand what you're saying, okay? Because I have, I think you guys probably all know this. I've been in all of your places before where you're trying to play nice with certain people, and then Keffels is literally trying to fucking vandalize my Wikipedia article now. That's what they're involved in. So like I've seen all this happen before. When I engage with you guys, so on one end, you're telling me this, okay? You're telling me, and I don't even necessarily disagree. There's like an expected behavior based on all of our circumstances. That's true. Like everybody in here to some extent has been fucked by the man, by mainstream tech, by a whole bunch of other like big actors. That is the case. And I'm not going to disagree with you there. And I'm in a better position than you in terms of like, I haven't gotten as fucked by you also. Like that's true as well, obviously. You've been delisted and deplatformed by way more people than I have. There are expected behaviors. The expected behavior for me is that I just don't associate with people like you, because why would I? It represents a potential brand risk. I could get deplatformed by other actors that don't like you. There's a whole host of reasons why my expected behavior, that if you were giving that explanation for why you guys might deplatform people sometimes, the explanation would also explain why I shouldn't interact with you. But I'm willing to, because I have a stance on the types of conversations we have, the types of ways that we should represent our political adversaries. I'm willing to stake a lot of my reputation and then even my platform on the idea that we should be able to have these types of conversations. That I don't think it's fair to write off America First as all Nazis. I don't think it accurately summarizes your views, and I don't think it's fair to do. And I think you should be allowed on platforms like YouTube. Now, I know that that's just my word. It doesn't mean much, but I am staking a bit on doing this. You've made fun of it and laughed at, like, my friends are attacking me. A ton of my community's attacking me. I had to ban a bunch of people that got really mad at the way that I characterize you guys or argue with you. But I do that. I'm willing to take a step out and kind of act in a way that is against or contrary to some of my interests because of a principled position I believe in. And all I would say or ask or request is, I know that for you guys, it's really tempting to want to hit back on everybody as hard as they've hit on you, because I feel the same way about a lot of these fucking lefties when I'm on Twitter. But I think to some extent you have to be willing to rise above that baser reaction and say, like, okay, you know, you guys deplatform the fuck out of us. There's probably shit of yours that we could report. But I think at the end of the day, you want to be able to point back and go, we could have done this, but we didn't because we're better than that. That's kind of what I'm advocating for now, what I'm trying to do now. I feel like you guys could be able to do that. That's kind of
and the thing is, like, we do that. And
yeah, like we're doing that, yeah.
I don't support people striking you or Mr. Girl. Even like the other day, you've been following the Kiwi Farms drama. Mm-hmm. Kiwi Farms is like, you know, and I'm not going to sit here and bitch and moan, but I just want to give this as an example. They're on there and they've doxed my entire family. They doxed my sister. They doxed my parents, you know, and just ruthless. There's a whole board about me, and like, there's literally a thread about my diet. Like, I post what I eat for lunch, and there's a thread just like shitting on like what I eat. Like, oh, wow, his lunch looks terrible. Sure. So it's like such a pervasive level of stalking. Now, that being said, the other day when Cloudflare came out and said, you know, and they've reversed the decision, but when Cloudflare came out and said, we're not going to take them down initially, I went out on Telegram and said, you know what? I'm not a fan of Kiwi Farms, obviously. I'm not a fan of Josh Moon. I said, but this is objectively a good thing. I don't support Cloudflare banning them, you know, because if Cloudflare is weaponized in that way, you know, it's bad for everybody. And even though that's not even 100% true, because as you know, Kiwi Farms is really actually a unique case. We've been talking about it behind the scenes, and people go, oh, you know, if Kiwi Farms gets banned from Cloudflare, that sets a bad precedent. And I said, well, not really necessarily. The precedent that it concerns us was when they banned Daily Stormer and Andrew Anglin. That's a lot more analogous than Kiwi Farms, where you've got legitimate harassment and just a different kind of thing going on than you have on a political show or a live stream. So I went out of my way to go on Telegram and say, look, I mean, these guys have really went out of the way to fuck with me, doxed my interns, doxed all kinds of people, but they should have a platform. So I just want you to know, that's why I came on here to correct the record. Big Tech did that, and Cozy is a free speech platform, so people, Big Tech can say what he wants on the stream. I don't support that. I support Mr. Girl being on YouTube, and likewise, and I do appreciate, I did make fun of you a little bit because some of the lefties are coming after you. It's a little bit comical, but I also said, and I hope you saw, that I do admire it immensely.
No. When I was pointing out that you were making fun of it, I was just saying that you were aware of it. I know that you are in general in favor. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, because I do think it's very admirable, and it shows a lot of integrity. Because there's no reason that you needed to do that other than that you felt it was right. And I've gone through a lot of that throughout my career over the past 5 years. I've had to forcefully push back against a lot of different kind of stuff, and I know it's not easy. So I did appreciate that, and I just want to come on here, correct the record, and say that.
Gotcha. Okay.
Are we still on for our debate on Tuesday that we talked?
I don't know. I gotta think about it. I gotta think about it. Okay.
Okay.
let me toss some things around in my head because. I don't know. I get horrified at the idea. Like, I could probably lose all my shit and retire and be okay. Like, I'll be okay financially.
Right.
But it's kind of like maybe you feel like this sometimes. You're kind of like Batman, right? Where you might be able to deal with a lot, but people that are in your vicinity can catch strays and get completely fucked, and then you start to wonder, like, fuck, am I about to excommunicate myself from all of my friends because now they're worried that people on Cozy are going to start, like, career assassinating everybody that I associate with, so then I have to kind of be careful. But yeah, I mean, I'll think about it. I'll get back to you on that, okay?
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's an interesting debate.
Sure.
But yeah, I understand. And, and I appreciate, it's been a good, I think it's been a very interesting thing. I think everybody's remarks, whether they like you or like me, or they like us both, or they dislike us, it's been good content. There's no good content anymore. I'm so sick of I hate the expression, but, the echo chamber, people going on just want to fucking jerk off with each other and agree with each other about, oh, we're so right-wing, or oh, we're so left-wing. So I think it's been good. When it's contentious, when it's pleasant, I think it's always good content. So...
Yeah, I don't disagree. Yeah, that's part of the reason why I do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anything else? Anybody else want to chime in?
Actually, I've got a question. While I've got both of you guys here, if you don't mind, I'd like to get your perspective on something that's kind of lingering for me on this. Now, I'm absolutely not trying to be out of step. I'm not trying to be out of pocket with you guys. And if I am, I'll pull back and I'll change that. And again, also, like you said, I was just speaking for myself on the channel right there in that one little clip. That's literally all I said about it. I haven't done long streams about this. But what I have done is I've been following Mr. Girl for many, many months now. Before I was even a Cozy streamer, by the way, I was tapped in on what Mr. Girl's doing. And the recent emergence of this thing where he's insisting on not only himself, not only naming us as Nazis, but also increasingly and pushing pressure on everybody else to also do the same. That's what seems to be exactly what his agenda is. For me, it's one thing, and it's accurate to call him, he's being histrionic, it's all of this stuff, and we can kind of laugh about it, and that is the lighthearted approach, but there's another side for me that feels personal. I'm doxxed on Kiwi Farms too. I've actually had personal ramifications in my family just choosing to stream and speak my mind and be who I am and have what I have to say. Now, when somebody is wanting to call me a Nazi, or call my friends in my organization a Nazi organization. Well, the Nazis are a group that we, as a country in the last decade, we deplatformed them off the planet. Like, they are gone because of us. And the punch a Nazi meme isn't a joke. There's a lot of people who really celebrate that. And by going around and labeling people with this essentially like this really anti-white, anti-nationalist slander term, in my opinion, I've appreciated Destiny. You've been pushing back on it. You've been really insisting, no, let's challenge them on the ideas. Let's not just throw slanderous names at them. Let's not just categorize them and turn them off. Let's keep it to where we can keep conversation to reach them. I really appreciate that. And though I'm wondering, like, how long should it be expected of us to tolerate being called something that really, if he has his way, sort of like the DeGion point, it's like, if Nick really is Hitler, then you really actually should go like take care of business. Which it was a joke, but it's also, there's a bit of truth to that joke. Like, if it's real, then why are you talking about it online and not actually literally saving the world by getting rid of Nick? And if the same thing goes with, if he's actually going to get his way and get you guys all to call us Nazis, he's putting me in danger, like real physical danger.
Yeah,
so that's something I think about.
I don't
do you think?
disagree with what you're saying, but like, so this is the only reason why I interact with any of you guys, is because right now we're on a road where everybody is incentivized to do things that are leading, in my opinion, the country to destruction. Like, all the people on the left have all the incentive to call you guys Nazis. Your views are pretty far right. They're very far outside of the mainstream. And then you guys also, not to sound victim blaming, you bring it on yourselves a little bit by flirting a lot with the very, very far right humor. And then there's so much reward on the left and so much punishment on the left there's reward for doing it and punishment for not doing it. You see all the pushback that I get, not even for saying you guys are like good, but just for saying you're not Nazis, or just for not saying that you're not Nazis, right? I get so much pushback for it. So that incentive exists there. And then on your guys' end, the incentive exists for you guys to use all of the tools against them that they use against you, right? Like, well, if you're going to spam report us and fuck our shit and all of that and call us Nazis, well, fuck you. I'm going to call you a pedophile, and a pedophile should be banned off YouTube and blah, blah, blah. Like, in that sense, like, you're wholly justified. Like, I understand that. I empathize with that. I've done shit like that in the past. Mio's like really keen and excited to link a clip where I'm trying to spam report Nick or whatever. I've done shit like this 100%. And even more recently than that, I've probably done shit against people on the left and right for shit like this. What I am saying is that part of what I'm trying to do in terms of reaching out and talking to people is I recognize that if things are going to change, somebody has to buck the trend of acting in the ways that make the most sense in terms of what your personal incentives are. There has to be some level of self-sacrifice or ideological compromise, as horrible as that is to say, in order to move forward in a direction where we all have the ability to like move on a better path to where we can communicate with each other again. It's like the Matthew 18:22, not 7 times, but 77 times, right? You turn your cheek. And I know that there's like there's the desire to fight and fight and fight and to play dirty, but like I said at the beginning of this, that just sends us down this road where everything is completely fucked, right? Because then everybody is incentivized to act in the way they are, and everything is just, I'm repeating myself. Yeah, but that's what I'm trying to break the trend of. And then I would ask, I guess, you guys, if I'm involved in that conversation, that you guys try to break that trend as well, because it's obviously not serving, it's not serving you guys at all well. And it seems like it's obviously fucking with the whole country in terms of our ability to get along with each other.